Ancient ethics differs from modern ethics in that it is eudaimonistic. Aristotle in particular considered happiness, eudaimonia in Greek, as the legitimate aim of any moral action. Aristotle identified 3 different kinds of goods that we strive for: external possessions, the goods of the body, and the goods of the soul. The most important are the goods of the soul, for the soul is the seat of reason.
Reason for Aristotle is the highest part of man. Reason, more than anything else, Aristotle said, is man. Reason is the divine part of man. So this capacity to reason, which enables us to engage in what Aristotle called the contemplative life, the highest form of life for man, and which also allowed us to have things like religion, language, and morality. This is part of what we need to develop in order to really achieve as we humans are capable of achieving.
Aristotle rejected the universal idea of the good, holding that what is good cannot be identical for all men. For each individual, the good is different in each activity and in each art. If the aim of medicine is health, the corresponding good is the healing of the patient. If the aim of strategy is victory, the corresponding good is the efficient handling of the military forces. So in each and every action and decision, good is the function which helps achieve the desired aim. A good person performs reasonable actions, and the corresponding good is what we call virtue. Aristotle claimed that for an act to be moral, it must be the result of a conscious decision. Therefore, free will is a necessary condition for an act to be considered moral. If you can't exert your will, your actions cannot be morally condemned.
Aristotle has been found very attractive recently by ethical philosophers. A very central part of his work on ethics has to do with how to be good people. His ethics is not couched very much in terms of right and wrong, which are ideas that have been prominent in recent centuries. It's couched in terms of practicing virtue, and many people have found this attractive. I don't think that rules in ethics are going to both be informative and work. Of course, there are philosophers who think that way. I think Kant was one of them. He thought that there were rules in ethics. But Aristotle thinks that rules, except rather specific rules, aren't going to work. Rather, what you should do is this. You've got to work out what's most important in life, and then instead of having a set of rules, you've got to be able to spot. Now, only a few people are good at spotting, but there are people who are good at spotting. There are people who are phronimoi, to use the Greek plural word, who are wise men. And if you don't feel you're a wise person yourself, the best thing you can do is to look around for a wise person to guide you.
It is by doing just acts that the just man is produced, and by doing temperate acts, the temperate man. Without doing these, no one would have even a prospect of becoming good. But most people do not do these, but take refuge in theory and think they are being philosophers and will become good in this way, behaving somewhat like patients who listen attentively to their doctors, but do none of the things they are ordered to do.
Aristotle also advanced the principle of the golden mean. According to Aristotle, For every human disposition or desire, there are those who are too extreme in some way, too quick to anger at perceived insults, for example, or too mild in the face of injustice. The virtuous character consists of finding the way of moderation that avoids the vice of both extremes. Thus, we should neither squander our money irresponsibly, nor should we be so tight-fisted that we share nothing with others. Generosity is the golden mean between these two extremes. After Aristotle's death, his ideas were taken up by thinkers such as Epicurus, who rejected extreme hedonism and advocated instead for pleasure guided by the sobriety of reason. He held that transparency is the litmus test for ethical behavior. Commit no act that you would want to hide from others.
The just man is the freest of all men from disquietude, but the unjust man is a perpetual prey to it.